Azumarill, droplet search for one fairy. Look at the top 8 cards of your deck. Choose any number of energy cards you find there and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. Then shuffle your remaining cards into your deck. For fairy double colorless, play rough, 60 damage. Flip the coin of heads, just 3 more damage. It's very similar to the Dragon Wish, where you can attack and put as many energy on. It's entirely different attack, right? Because you're looking at top 8 cards, whereas Dragonair, you like any energy get in hand next turn you can use. But it's similar in that effect. There's both stage 1s. That's really the only relevance, really. You can attach more energy if you hit that energy. But I think, I don't know. Shane, you think the payoff's good enough to rate it 2 stars to evolve and use the attack?
I don't think there's anything relevant right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing relevant really right now that can utilize Azumarill's attack. But you can... It's energy cards, not basic energy.
That's
so
true.
You can run special energy with it, and you can run this in a unit energy deck.
Yeah.
With Fighting Dark Fairy or Rainbow even, and just like set up your board really fast if you have a deck that like really struggles with setting up energy. But then again, you'd be playing like a big Azumarill line, and you'd have to set that up. And
yeah,
I think the Dragonair is a really good comparison because they're both not going to be relevant ever.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I think it's very similar to a Togekiss from Roaring Skies, which had an ability that when you evolve Togekiss from your hand, you look at the top 8 cards of your deck and then pick any basic energies there and attach them. And that was never really played. I think it was played in like some meme deck once.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, no, it's not really going to see any play. I think because Standard is so slow right now, it could find its way into something.
Yeah.
With unit energy and all that, or Rainbow.
Give me a good Togekiss card. I really want a good Togekiss card.
That would be cool.
Be tight.
Never had one of those, really. At least, well, I've been playing.
There was one, I think, in Heart Gold Soul Silver that might have been okay. It wasn't the worst thing, but...
Probably better than Azumarill.
Yeah. Alright, Lugia GX. It's meh, but it's still like... It can be included in everything, just like every Lugia, pretty much. Almost every Lugia, I can imagine. They all take just colorless energy. So for 3 colorless, it's psychic, so 30 damage, and does 30 more for each energy attached to your opponent's active. And then for 4 colorless energy, Watatsumi Spear, 170 damage, and you can't use it next turn. And then for 3 colorless energy, put your opponent's active Pokemon, all cards attached to it, into the Lost Zone. So I think it'd be good in a Malamar deck. That's why I put Malamar there. It doesn't have Psychic weakness like everything else in the deck, and Dark weakness because of Dawn Wings. But
we have Shining Lugia too.
Shining Lugia, yeah. But that 170 is pretty good with Choice Band 200. So
it is, yeah. 200 is relevant for everything that's not Zoroark. So Lugia didn't give Malamar an option to beat Zoroark.
No, you did not.
It's still really good. 200 with a Choice Band for 4 is not that hard to get with a Malamar deck. And Psychic isn't bad. It's not bad. If it was 2 energy into like less damage, I think it'd be better.
Yeah.
But that GX stack is pretty good also if you're playing against a deck that like got a stunted setup and was only able to set up like one of their main Pokemon or something like that.
Oh yeah. Lost Purge. Get out of here.
Yeah, and the fighting resistance is good. The lightning weakness, it's good because the decks you typically play this in are probably not going to be that weak against spread, like Malamar.
Right.
But yeah, lightning, you can still get 2-shot pretty easily by Coco, and then it can set up a lot of other numbers.
Yeah. It's just better in decks that just struggle with their own weaknesses, like Malamar, and yeah. So.
I'm glad it has 190 instead of 180. That makes it a lot better, I think.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think this is playable in Expanded at all.
Expanded?
I think it's probably not playable in Expanded at all. No. But in Standard, I could definitely see it seeing play.
It'll be a good card. Definitely pick up 1 or 2 of them. It's
yeah.
pretty good.
Probably 1.
Yeah, probably one of All right, now we're finally to the trainers. We're getting towards the end game, Shane. All right, so Netball. Search your deck for a grass Pokemon, or a basic grass Pokemon, or a grass energy. Reveal it and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So, easy 4-star card for me. It's gonna be great in literally any grass deck. Like, it's just awesome. So it's like Dive Ball, really. You just add it, like 3 or 4 of them into your deck, and it's maximum consistency right there. So there's really not much I want to say about it. I mean, it's just going to be in like every single grass deck from now on. So, yeah.
I think it's good in Sceptile and Bulu, obviously, as you have the pictures on screen right there.
Yes, I do.
Being able to switch out Grubbin and Energy, those are both very relevant for those archetypes.
Yeah. Can make Vika Ray better.
Yeah. And the thing about Sceptile, as an archetype, is that you only really need to get one evolution grass Pokemon during the course of the game, and then the rest kind of falls into place because of the combo. So I think if we didn't have that Grovyle, the Netball would be a very good card in that deck. But
yeah, definitely. All right, we got React Hammer. This card can only be used by the player going second on their first turn. So big ol' yikes right there. Discard an entry from one of your opponent's Pokemon play. So it's like you go second, and you don't want to go second. So let's say you win the coin flip. So are you going to go second? You're gonna choose to go second because you run this one card in your deck? Like, I don't know. I think it's a horrible card just because of that. You have to go second, and it has to be your first turn.
And it has to be in your hand.
And that's and it has to be in your hand. You got to be able to use the card. So it's a big old no, big old yikes no for me. I don't even want to give it 1 star, to be completely honest. I think it's pretty bad.
It's really, really bad.
I mean, in Sylveon, if you played 4, but like, why would you want to waste that many slots? Why? I don't know. I do not know. But we're gonna move on from there. Here's that lost.
Oh
mixer.
wait.
Whoa, what?
There is an Alolan Meowth promo in Japan. Can't forget.
Oh.
Its an ability is that you may discard one of these hammers from your hand to draw 2 cards.
Okay.
So it's essentially just, a +2 cards every time you see one of these if you're running that Meowth. Okay. So you could, when that card comes out, when that Meowth comes out, this could be playable. But currently, it's just like the biggest meme card I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely 1 star.
Yeah.
All right, Lost Mixer. Put 2 cards from your hand into the Lost Zone, then draw 1 card from your deck. Really, I mean, just like the Trumbeak, right? It would have been completely fine just putting 2 cards from your hand in the Lost Zone. But then you get to draw a card. Okay, thanks. So you can put any Pokemon you want into the discard pile with this to increase your Lost March attack. So Shane says it's unbelievable. What a card. 5 stars. I think the fact that you have to have this in your hand as well as Pokemon in your hand makes it a little difficult. And it's a combo, right? I think it's I think the reason why I put it 2 stars, maybe that was not fair. Maybe it should be 3, but it's really 2 stars because it's there only for Lost March. It's a card that's only going to be played in Lost March, I think, so far.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's very niche only for that, and you also have to hit the combo. So at most, I think it's a 3-star card at the most, but that's my reasoning behind that. Shane, I mean, you can go ahead and give your reasoning, and it's perfectly sound for why.
I think Lost Mixer is the only thing that makes Lost March even possible. I think that the Lost March engine without Mixer is too slow to be relevant for anything.
Yeah.
So I think when Lost Mixer build or Lost March builds start breaking down a little bit more and becoming a lot more uniform, we'll see a lot of Lost Mixer and a lot more Pokemon in the deck. So essentially, you'll have a higher chance of being able to Lost Mixer out a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, I can see Lost March becoming a kind of like the same build as Shrine decks are with Mag Cargo and Oranguru, and you can just get into your Lost Mixers and get.
I could see that, but at the same time, if you're running Oranguru and Macargo, then you're typically only getting to see 3 cards. So if you were doing that with Lost Mixer, your other 2 cards in hand would have to be a Pokemon.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool stuff. All right, Choice Helmet. It's Choice Band, but not really, because you're not doing damage. You're receiving less damage, so you're receiving 30 less damage from your opponent's GX and EX Pokemon. So, Band's better, but could be good in, like, wishy-washy, since now that Fighting Fury Belt's gone. You wouldn't use this for anything else except for those big basics, because, like I said, Fighting Fury Belt's gone, and things that are like stage 1, like Sylveon, would rather use muscle dumbbells. So, yep.
Yeah, this is not good.
Not good.
I don't even think it's good in Wishy-Washy. Wishy-Washy has like troubles with getting damage numbers to go.
Yeah.
to even 2-shot things.
Yeah.
With Water Gun.
Yeah.
But it also, Wishy-Washy loses so hard to Coco. So hard. To spread in general.
Yeah.
But mostly Coco.
Yeah.
So I don't think Wishy-Washy will ever really be relevant. And I don't think Choice really changes anything about Wishy-Washy.
Yeah.
But Choice could be played in some sort of stall deck, maybe at some point. You could play this with what's it called? Shuckle. I don't know.
Yeah, Shuckle.
Just something that's like a stall deck that's a basic or a stage 2 even, I guess.
For sure. Yep. And Spell Tag, if the psychic Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, you can put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. This is kind of, I mean, not really like Bursting Balloon. Bursting Balloon was way better, right? More damage counters and go on anything. This is just psychic Pokemon.
And they didn't have to be knocked out.
And it didn't have to be knocked out. That was the other thing. So
when it was first translated, they didn't have the has to be knocked out text on there. And I thought this card was like the most broken thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But man, oh man, big ol' no from me.
Yeah, it's not good. Because your Pokemon has to be knocked out, and it has to be attached to a Psychic, and it only places 4. It's just not good.
Not good.
It could see play maybe eventually in some sort of Giratina deck. Mm-hmm. Like, you could play this in... what was that guy? Cofagrigus. You could play that in your Cofagrigus deck. Because your Cofagrigus are going to die in like 1 hit.
Definitely.
Be real.
Yeah. So, yeah, this could be a really great card in Cofagrigus. So... But that's really the only thing. Yeah. All right, Fairy Charms. Shane's got more hype for these than I do. I think it's very like, prevent all damage done to Fairy Pokemon that this card is attached to. That they attach to your opponent's Psychic Pokemon. Same with the Fighting. Same with the Dragon. And there is a Grass one, I believe. I think there's all types, honestly.
There's not all types. Yeah.
Eventually.
I think there's Grass. There's definitely Grass, and then one other type. I forget what it is, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's very, like, situational. And do you have the space for that in your Fairy decks? Probably not.
Well, you can search for it with Ninetales.
Yeah.
And... yeah. I mean, it's okay. Okay.
Field Blower's a thing, right? So
Field Blower is a thing, but it prevents all damage.
Oh, yeah.
All damage.
That's great.
Think about like Shrine. They currently, or Shrine Buzz, they don't like play any Field Blower right now. And if they only play one, then you can like slap one of those down and just keep smacking into Buzzwole over and over again. And then you also have Psychic for dealing with Garbodor. And dealing with certain Malamar decks, but they can also use other attackers like Lugia. I do think Fairy Charms are good, and I think they could see a lot of play, especially in something like Sylveon.
Yeah.
Like Sylveon Mill deck.
Oh, yeah.
Fairy Charms can just make certain decks pretty irrelevant if you can continually pump out these charms.
That's fair enough, yeah. Cool. Adventuring Satchel. Search your deck for 2 Pokemon Tool cards, reveal them, and put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this card is trying to make things more consistent for you. though at the same time, if you already run like 4 Choice Band or 4 Skateboard, like that Rucan list from Philadelphia with the Malamar, then this might be good because it ups that consistency past the 4 number for you. But at the same time, you should be hitting your stuff that you need if you're running 4 counts. So I think it's just an unnecessary slot.
Yeah, I would rather just run more tools. Yeah. Like if you're running this, you're probably running it in a deck that runs a bunch of different types of tools.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just run more tools of the tools I want to run.
Definitely. Yep. That's pretty much it. Morty. You can only play this card if one of your psychic Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, and your opponent reveals their hand. Choose 2 of the cards you find there, and your opponent shuffles them into their deck. Oh, it's just so bad. Like,
yeah.
Why? I mean, peeking red card would be almost better. Almost, pretty much. I was like, come on. Like, this is your supporter for the turn. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If one of your Pokemon is getting knocked out, you typically don't want to play a supporter that disrupts your opponent.
Yeah. Like
your opponent's hand.
Yeah, because your opponent's hand is like gonna be great no matter what, right? So
yeah, that, and if one of your Pokemon's getting knocked out, then your board state is what you need to worry about, not your opponent's hand.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yep. So big ol' no on Morty. Moving on. Whitney, draw 1 card. Draw an additional 2 cards for each Whitney in your discard pile, excluding this one. So this is good in your hand deck, but is it good in anything else?
In expanded, you can battle compress out your Whitneys and then just versus seeker draw 7.
Okay, fair enough.
So I think it's playable. I don't think it'll be good though, because we have things like Chorus, which is just like much more consistent.
Yeah.
And I don't think the 3 slots or 4 slots of Whitney plus like a battle compressor engine is really worth it in expanded, but I think it's still playable.
Yeah, it has uses a little bit. I think there's
standard. It's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad in standard. Yep. Okay, Professor Elm's Lecture. This is another 5-star card. Absolutely, it's Bridget's replacement. Though you get to search for 3 Pokemon that are 60 HP or less, reveal them, and put them in your hand, so you don't need to bench them. Really good. Sad that it doesn't work for some decks like Wimpod, like the Gliscod decks, stuff like that. Though. And then the Rock Roughs, you know, there are the ones that you want to use are 70 HP, but you may have to just go to 60 HP so you can use Elm. So,
oh yeah,
yeah, it's a good card. I like it a lot. It's gonna go in a lot, pretty much every single deck that ran Bridget almost. So, yes, indeedy. Is there anything you want to say about it?
It won't replace Bridget in expanded.
Nope, won't
Bridget. Bridget's still better in expanded.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but this card is very, very meta defining for standard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Get your Elms. Oh, the full art's beautiful, by the way.
I haven't even seen it.
Oh, it's great. It's gonna be that's gonna be one of the most expensive cards.
Oh yeah,
I'm not even kidding. So okay, Faba, choose one of your opponent's Pokemon tool cards, special energy cards, or stadiums in play, and put it in the Lost Zone. Did you rate it 4 because of the disruption, for like disruption decks?
No.
Okay, go ahead and tell me why.
I think Faba is one of the best cards in this set, actually.
Okay.
It's strictly a better version of Xerosic.
Yeah.
Except Xerosic can target your own field, so. But whatever, you very rarely do that.
Yeah.
Faba allows you to also target stadiums and put them in the Lost Zone. So if you imagine this Faba, it's not very good in standard. So it's not 4-star because it's standard. It's 4-star because of expanded.
Okay.
Think of decks like Zoroark, where they typically run only like 4 energy. If you can Faba 4 times, you win the game.
Well, you had a special charge.
No.
Oh wait, this is the Lost Zone. Yeah, you're right.
So Faba could be a very defining card in expanded. Special charge is pretty much in every expanded deck that runs special energy.
Yeah.
Think of like Toad. If you were playing Toad, you could play Faba easily.
Yeah.
And just really easily remove all of your opponent's special energy, and make it so they only have like 1 DC left in their whole deck and they special charge it. And like, it's just, it's so rough for decks that don't run a lot of special energy.
Yeah, for sure.
And you could also, against something like Zoroark, put all of their Sky Fields in the Lost Zone, so they can't like Dowsing Machine for it or anything.
Yeah.
I think Faba is going to be a very, very strong.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll really see that much play or be that full instead.
Yeah, not standard. I don't think it's going to see much play in standard, just because with the new stadiums that we're also getting, they have that text that say you can't, if there's a supporter or any trainer card that does anything to it, ignore the effects. So I don't think standard is going to see too much play with Faba, but yeah, definitely an expanded. I was kind of thinking standard when I was doing this rating system, but in expanded, yeah, this is going to be pretty broken.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, Lusamine Prism Star. You can only play this card if your opponent has 3 prizes remaining, and prevent all damage done to your opponent's Ultra Beast by your opponent's attacks during your next turn. So that is it's a swing card, right? It reminds me of Moon's Eclipse GX. That's why I have that there. But it's only to your Ultra Beasts, and they can't Guzma around it if your whole board is Ultra Beasts. So
what if that Beast Box?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, you play that in Beast Box.
Yeah, you play it in Beast Box. There's not much I really want to say about it. It's a really like swing turn, and your 3 prizes is such a dumb number. If it was like 2 or 4, 3 is a bad prize card number. Usually,
I feel like you'd have to run this in like Baby Buzz Shrine.
Yeah.
And even then, like, how do you get Lusamine in your hand consistently? I guess you use Macargo for it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like you could use this in Baby Buzz Shrine.
Yeah, it probably will go in it, to be honest.
But you can just like Guzma up a Garbodor or a Trubbish or a Macargo.
Yeah.
Or just there's so much that you can do to get around it. I guess it's still strong though.
Definitely.
If your opponent doesn't have the option to get out of it.
Yeah. It's good. It's good in the right circumstances, like late game. So who knows? Could be very good. But 2 stars from me and 2 stars from you. Going to the next card, we got Mina. Search your deck for a fairy energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So instant 1 energy attachment. That's not for your energy attachment for turn. Pretty good. Could be good in Gardevoir. Though, I don't know. Once you have a couple Gardevoir set up, I'd probably rather Cynthia or something to get more energy. So, I don't know. Do you really have anything to say about it, Shane?
I give it a 2-star because I don't think it's going to be relevant now. But I think having an extra energy attachment for turn could be good in some sort of fairy deck that requires multiple attachments later down the line if we don't have any other options to attach extra energies other than like Gardevoir.
Yeah.
So I feel like Mina could be good in a if there was ever a good basic like GX fairy Pokemon.
Yeah. Like well, like how about that Grand Bowl?
It's a stage 1 and it only requires 1 to attack.
Well, yeah, but you could do the second attack. You could next turn.
I don't even know what it does.
I think it's just a clean like 130 or something like that.
That's like worse than the first attack though.
Yeah, it is. But you don't need to have anything done to your hand. I don't know.
True.
I'm just
saying.
But
if you're making your deck all around that, then I don't know. I don't think Mina's good right now.
Yeah, for sure. Electric Power. During this turn, your Lightning Pokemon attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. It's 3+ power for your Lightning Pokemon, basically. It is a choice band. It's great. It's a one-time use, though. There's really no way to get them back until the next set, where we have an Ampharos that basically gets 2 of them back into your hand. But 3-star card, solid for Lightning Pokemon. This is great. Not much I can say about it. I mean, the texts are there, so...
it's good, but since there's not really a reliable way to recover them or even get them into your hand when you need them, I don't think it'll end up becoming that relevant. But it's still strong. I mean, plus power is used in was used in some decks and expanded before the bans. So electric power, see some play.
Not to mention, this is like unlike choice band where it has to be GX or EX, this can be done to basics. So, or I
True.
mean, non-GX and EX. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, custom catcher. You may play 2 custom catcher cards at once. If you played 1 card, draw cards from your deck until you have 3 cards in your hand. If you played 2 of them, switch one of your opponent's bench with their active Pokemon. It's a gust of wind if you get the combo. It's kind of just like Puzzle Time, get 2 in your hand. I mean, in Zoroark decks, it's possible to do this, but I don't think it's worth 4 cards in your deck just to get that Lysander effect. I'd rather just play counter catcher, more Guzma. Yeah, so Jane.
I like how it's an item, so it's not a supporter for turn, and you can run this in Ninetales deck.
Yeah.
To, you know, just Ninetales for a Lycanroc ability.
Yeah, basically.
It takes up a lot of spots in your deck, though.
Yeah, it does.
And you're playing 2 items, which isn't always the greatest idea, especially when we still have Garbodor, Garbotoxin, and Standard. But this could be usable in Zoroark. A lot of the current Zoroark variants are like Lycanroc, and that's mainly because Bloodthirsty Ice is so strong right now, and hitting 130 with Lycanroc and Dancy is also very strong. But that catcher ability that Lycanroc has is pretty much the main star of Lycanroc. And being able to play a supporter and then also do a catcher effect is good. It'll always be good.
Yeah.
So I feel like you could see custom catcher in counts of 2 to 4 in some Zoroark variants in Standard in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think right now, how our decks are built, it's going to warrant the space. But yeah, I definitely could see that as well. Okay, Mix Herb. You may play 2 Mix Herb cards at once. If you played 1 card, remove 1 special condition from your active Pokemon. If you played 2 cards, remove all special conditions and 90 damage from your active Pokemon. Oh boy, it's just Gold Potion if you hit 2 of them at the same time. But, you know, it just doesn't warrant the space, in my opinion. I think, Shane, you agree.
Yeah, yeah, we put it in here because it's a trainer card.
Yep, basically. Moving on.
Not good.
Counter gain. As long as you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, the text of this Pokemon this card is attached to does 1 colorless less. So I was thinking, you know, this could be used in some sort of like disruption deck. Not Sableye because it takes a psychic, but something that just takes a colorless energy. I don't know what it is. Just making up a bland example. But this could be used in that aspect, and don't really need to really run any energy after your opponent takes a prize. So there's that. Shane, you have anything to say about it?
I think if you run this in that sort of deck idea where you're playing a deck that's more disruption based and only uses 1 energy to attack, counter gain is just an energy at that point. If you only need 1 energy to attack.
Yeah, basically.
So why wouldn't you just run energy instead of relying on your opponent to take knockouts?
Yeah,
being able to use it. So I don't know.
It's no pun intended, but counterproductive, I would say. Why not just use energy that stays there and doesn't get field blowered away? So
I think it could be used in something, but I don't. You could see it in like a spread deck, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
You could use it with like Coco, put it on Coco, and then I don't know. It may be in a spread deck, but other than that, I don't really see much for it.
For sure. All right, Kahili, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Draw 2 cards, then flip a coin. If heads, put this Kahili back into your hand instead of discarding it. So in this very rare situation, ladies and gentlemen, we've found a situation where How is better than a draw supporting card. So yeah, I think How is way better. You get 3 cards, and you yeah, consistently you get 3 cards. That's the key word there, consistently. Kahili, half the time you'll get it back in your hand. I don't know. I think it's bad card.
You know they're gonna put this card in theme decks.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely.
That's how you know it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. Next card, Sightseer. I love this card. Shane, you don't agree with me. I'm gonna try and convince you here. We don't have a really good supporting card where you dump your hand, draw cards. Sightseer can do that for you. You can draw cards from your deck until you have 5 cards, but before drawing, you can discard any number of cards from your hand. So it's a little bit worse than Sycamore, because Sycamore got you 7. But in Sightseer's defense, you can choose, hey, I don't want to discard this Beast Energy, so I'll discard these other 4 cards if they're like just clogging up your hand, and draw 4 more cards. So in that sense, I mean, Sightseer is pretty good. You discard your hand, draw 5 cards. So yeah, I think it's good in that sense. I think it'll see lots of play and lots of decks, and that's why I'm rating it 4 stars based off of the supporters we have at standard right now. So yeah, Shane.
I actually don't think it'll be played in decks a lot. The only real argument Sightseer has right now is that we have a lack of supporters in standard. But I don't think that this supporter is good enough to take up spots in a deck that would make it good. That would make it good. So currently in standard, we have decks that have alternative draw options, or are more board state setup rather than like drawing. So they don't rely on good supporters being in the game to run. So we have like Zoroark, and they use Judge. Judge isn't a good supporter, a draw supporter, but it's a good disruption.
Yeah.
And you can use Zoroark to draw. And in things like Malamar, it's more setup based. So you just set up your Pokemon, you have treasure. That's basically all it is.
Yeah.
So I don't think putting Sightseer in the metagame is going to make those other decks stop running the supporters they're running, because they're running them for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sightseer is just not good. I don't think drawing to 5, it's not very good. We have Lily, which is just draw to 6. Yeah, you can't discard, but it also works on the first turn to draw to 8. True. And a lot of people run a lot of copies of those just for that turn one.
Oh yeah.
A lot of decks in standard right now really rely on their like turn 1, turn 2, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, only time will tell, really.
Yeah.
I think we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, we're pretty split on that. We'll just have to see and wait.
I think it could be good in decks that run like Macargo, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Buzz Shrine might run some Sightseer. Yeah.
Cool. Here we go. We get into the stadiums. Thunder Mountain Prism Star, very familiar to the Thunder Mountain Railroad in Disneyland, and I don't know about Disney World. That's why I just put there. Whatever. Good joke, Eric. The attacks of each player's lightning Pokemon cost lightning less. All these Prism Star Stadium cards all have this text that says, as long as the stadium is in play, whenever a player uses an item or a supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of those cards done to the stadium. So, it's great for lightning decks. 1 less lightning energy to attack. So, really, the one that comes to mind for lightning Pokemon is the newly announced Zorora that we already talked about. So, you can use your GX attack for free. Lightning colorless for 160. Pretty cool. It is a one-of, so it's kind of hard to like build anything around it, but it's just a cool little benefit that you have in your deck. Yeah, that's really all I got.
I think it's yeah, as you said, it's not really something you build any sort of deck around, but it's more so it helps you.
Yeah, just extra benefit.
Yeah, but yeah, Zoroark is kind of like the main target. We don't really have a lot of other good lightning attackers right now that require lightning energy. So it'll probably become relevant later on. But in Expanded, you can run this with Mega Manectric and attack for 1 energy.
It's true.
It doesn't make Mega Manectric good.
Nope, but it's an option.
but you play it in Mega Manectric.
It's an option. And then Buzzwole comes and like goes, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah. So that's really all I have to say about this Prism Star. There's not really like a lot of options to use it with right now, other than Zoroark.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next Prism Star, Life Forest Prism Star. Once during each player's turn, that player may heal 60 damage and remove all special conditions from one of their grass Pokemon, and it has the same text as previous stadium. So, yeah, it's good. Healing, great. It's grass types don't have really a stadium. Really anymore ever since Forest of Giant Plants got banned. So Sceptile's gonna love it. I mean, grass type Bulu's gonna love it. You know, what more can I say? 60 less damage per turn.
Well, not quite.
Each player's turn, that player may heal 60 damage.
It heals, but I mean, it doesn't prevent.
That's what I meant, Shane. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, preventing the damage would be that'd make this broken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
but
would.
the 60 damage heal is really strong, and only being able to knock it with another stadium or an attack is good, especially since we don't have a lot of options to be able to remove stadiums anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only way you're gonna be able to bounce this is with your own stadium. So
there is that
attack.
white Kyrim though that's coming out, and it's apparently doing well in Japan. I can't remember what set it comes out in. Maybe it's Thunderclap Spark. It is in Thunderclap Spark.
It is.
Yeah, in Japan. I'm not sure if it's in our English one.
I don't remember.
But yeah, well, it has 130 HP and a DCE attack for 30, and then your opponent, if they have a stadium card in play, you discard it.
Oh,
but you don't really use it for that attack. You use it for its second attack, which is 2 water and a colorless for 80, and then if you have a fire energy attached to it, then it does 80 more. So you do 160 for 3, and you run like Aqua Patch and
yeah, that's good.
unit energy. Yeah, it's strong. It did really well in Japan for like a tournament or two.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's still like making any sort of placements, but
yeah, strong 1 prize attacker. So
yeah, it's just one of the only ways to remove stadiums.
Yeah.
In standard right now, other than these Prism Star stadiums, other than like knocking it with another stadium.
Yep. Alrighty. Heat Factory Prism Star. Once during your turn before you attack, you may discard a fire energy from your hand, and if you do, draw 3 cards. So it's a better Scorched Earth. That's really all
Strictly.
it is.
Well, except you can't do fighting with it.
Yeah, you can't do fighting.
It's better against Buzzwole.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. My boy Ho-Oh coming back from the flames. New Phoenix.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Memory Energy. This card provides colorless energy, and the card this is attached to can use the attacks of its previous evolutions. Still needs the necessary energy to perform the attack. Thinking back at it, I should have added this to 2 stars because there's potential in a lot of places here.
Yeah.
But there's not much to say. I mean, there's lots of combos. We could be sitting here forever going through all of them, but
I think the main one is actually, what's his name, Luxio? Yeah, with Luxray.
well,
the one that item locks for 1 colorless.
Well, wouldn't you just rather use Shining Celebi? Have it sitting on your bench?
You can. Well, Shining Celebi is a basic with an ability, so it can be shut up by Muck, and it can also be Lysandered and knocked out. And the thing is that Luxio's attack is only 1 colorless anyways.
Yeah.
So you would run both.
That's true. Yeah, this is a good addition to that. So, Memory Energy, we've got it now.
Yep.
And that's everything, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. If you did, this is a long video. It's over 2 hours, most likely. But we did it. You guys did it. I hope you guys had a good time. If you guys disagreed with us or agreed with us with any of the cards that we've rated, please let us know down below. And please like the video and share it if you don't mind. That'd be very helpful to us. And thanks again. Shane, do you have any closing words?
Shout outs to my team, Moist Bois.
Oh, yeah. The Moist Bois.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. It was fun. I can't wait to do the next set. It's going to be this Dark, what is it, Dark Order? Was that the set that's scheduled to release next for us?
I think so. It's always different in English. So,
yeah,
we'll
the
see.
Japanese one's Dark Order, I think. But yeah, there's some cards that actually, you know, they're missing in this set, but are supplemented in that from that set that help them out. So yeah, it's going to be cool. So thanks again, guys. And until next time, we'll see you later.